Good morning. Welcome to Posture in the Morning. Thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to be working on our squat form and accessing the squat position. I'm going to put in my toe spacers because I always do, but I want you to put on your socks. We're going to need our socks today. We're also going to need some type of ball. You could have a lacrosse ball, you could have a softball, you could have a tennis ball or a golf ball, some kind of ball. Harder is better. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sit right on top of the ball on our upper hamstring, right below our glute. And we're going to hang out on it for about 2 minutes. It should feel kind of intense. Maybe just a tiny bit painful. It shouldn't sting, burn, or create numbness. If it does any of those things, try a different spot. And by allowing 2 minutes for our body to respond to the stimulus the ball is giving us, we can encourage/force our body to change. Incorporate some deep breathing, exhaling all the air out of your body as per usual. And if it's doing well, you should notice that it feels pretty intense at the beginning. It might get a little more intense, and then it'll start to relax. And for the last 45 seconds or so, you should just be relaxing. Great job. Now we're going to do our other leg. Take your ball and place it on your upper hamstring right next to your glute. And find a spot that feels pretty uncomfortable. And we'll just stay there for about 2 minutes. Taking some deep breaths. And the reason why we would want to access the squat position is it's a very inherent position to the human body. People have been squatting for thousands and thousands of years. And a majority of adults, especially in America, never squat lower than a toilet. And they lose that mobility in their hips. And as they get older, that translates into an inability to squat, get on and off the ground. And you can look at studies and they'll tell you, if a person can't get off the ground in a particular way, it means they're probably going to die in a couple of years. I had a really funny experience where I taught a senior exercise class, and one of our participants, a really nice man named Don, brought us a sheet of paper, and it was like, if you can't get on the ground like this, you're gonna die. And I was like, Don, this is fascinating. Let's not show this to anybody in the class today. We had a lot of people between the ages of 70 and 90 in our class. Great job. Now we're going to flip it around and put our legs up the wall. You want to be close enough to the wall to get the most out of it, but not so close that your hips elevate off the floor. So for me right now, it's pretty close, but I can feel that my sacrum is just elevated a tiny bit, so I'm going to scoot back. We'll put our hands out to the sides, and we're going to give our body about 2 minutes to respond to this position. If you want to add a little extra oomph, you can pull your toes down and press your hips into the ground. That'll increase the tension on your posterior chain. Take deep breaths, breathing into your collarbones, your chest, and your stomach. And exhale, dropping your belly button into your body towards the floor, expelling every last bit of air out of your lungs. Great job. Now we're going to utilize our socks. We're going to slide our heels down the wall towards our hips as far as they'll go, and then slide our heels up the wall, pull our toes down, and tighten our legs as we reach the top. And take whatever breathing pattern works for you. I kind of like to exhale as I drop my knees down just to make sure they have plenty of room. Let's do a couple more. Great. And now pull your toes down, press your hips to the floor, and turn your knees out to the sides, and then back in and into the center a little bit. Opening up, closing. And let's grab our thoracic spine a little bit. While we do this, we're going to take our hands, interlace our fingers, and bring our hands up over our head. And just hang out there with your arms, keeping your elbows tight, flattening your palms, and turning your legs. And then let's go extra wide with our feet, and we'll do the same thing. Turning out and in, maintaining our arm position, keeping our elbows tight, keeping our palms flat, and breathing deeply, expelling all the air from our body with each breath. And then bend your knees, sliding your heels towards you, and bring the bottoms of your feet together on the wall. Try to get all your toes to match up. Then you can relax your arms and leave them anywhere above you, as long as they can relax on the floor. If they're not very relaxed, just keep opening them up until they can relax. And let's add a little exercise to this. We'll take our hands on our knees. We're going to press our knees into our hands and our hands into our knees, creating a lot of force, but not a lot of movement, for 4 seconds. And then we're going to let our legs go and push our knees towards the wall. Now, if this creates pain for you, then sit out for the next couple rounds, but we're going to do it 3 times. Just be cautious at first. It can be kind of intense. It's called reciprocal inhibition. And here we go, pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. And then don't give up that spot you just got to. Keep your arms and knees right there. And begin again, pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax your legs. And we'll do it one more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax your legs. And now we're going to take our strap, hopefully it's nearby, and we're going to put it over our legs. We'll leave it loose, kind of forget about it. And then you want to scoot back from the wall so that you can just barely touch with your fingertips. Barely touch. We're going to hold our knees and feet together. We're going to put our hands above us somewhere where they can relax. And we're going to do this for 1 minute. It might be difficult to hold your knees together, but do your best. It's just for 1 minute. And then we'll make that aspect much more manageable. Great job. Now we're going to tighten our strap very snugly, bringing our legs all the way together securely. And then we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. And put our hands above us and take very deep breaths. Now let's add a little something to this. We'll take our hands, make kind of a claw hand, and put your extended first knuckle on your temple. Bring your elbows forward as if they were going to touch, and they may. And then back to the floor. If you have the mobility for it, you can press your elbows into the ground as you come back. And just roll your extended first knuckle lightly on your temple. And then we'll take a break from that. And we're going to separate our feet a little bit, trying to make sure they're still straight up and down through the outside edge of the feet. And then we're going to relax for 2 more minutes. I love this little series of positions on the wall. When I'm working at the clinic, I use it all the time for people that have hip problems, middle back problems, and misaligned rib cages. It's also quite engaging for the hip flexors, but that's not usually the biggest reason that I use it. Great job. Now we're going to undo our strap. And let's take it all the way off. Now we're going to put our feet wide on the wall. Grip the wall with your big toe. And then any amount, as long as your big toe stays engaged to the wall, roll your knees out to the sides and then to the insides a little bit. This can be very engaging for the muscles through the arch of your foot. If you get a little cramp, try to work through it and let those muscles accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. And you may have noticed right now we're in a simulated deep squat. I call this the faux squat. And it allows your body in a very supported position to access the deep hip flexion necessary to do a deep squat. And it gives us a chance to be very aware of what our feet are doing and how our toes are engaging with the ground or the wall as we're in this position. Great job. That's it for our Posture in the Morning series on accessing the squat position. If you want to see how deeply you can squat now. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty comfy. I'm not going to fall over right away. This used to be a very hard to access position for me a couple years ago. Couldn't even get close. Have a nice day.